Slightly unusual one now. I say slightly unusual, but only because it's a female instead of a male. PC Hayley Pegg, a Northumbria police constable, a brand new Northumbria police constable at that, has been given a final written warning after she was accused of touching two colleagues without their permission. In total, Pegg was accused of subjecting 4 colleagues to unwanted touching, including kissing a colleague on the cheek and putting her arm around the waist of another. It was alleged that her conduct breached the standards of professional behaviour in relation to discreditable conduct and authority, respect and courtesy, and amounted to gross misconduct. The misconduct hearing actually took place last month between July the 11th and July the 15th, and during the hearing the panel decided that on the balance of probabilities, PC Hayley Pegg was a bit of a slag. No, they didn't say that really, but they did find that on the balance of probabilities she did grab or touch an officer's face, try to kiss an officer and kiss an officer on the cheek. The panel found that the touching was intentional. The officer did not consent to this, and there was no attempt by PC Pegg to obtain such consent. The misconduct panel also found that PC Pegg did intentionally put her arm around the waist of another officer. Oh no! They found the officer did not consent to it, and there was no attempt by PC Pegg to obtain such consent. The panel also found an allegation against a third colleague was not intentional but was accidental. Another allegation against a fourth colleague was not proven. Now, I've got to be fair. I'm not so sure I disagree with the panel's ruling in this case. I mean, when I see women that I know, sometimes I'll kiss them hello and goodbye. I never stop myself and say, oh, excuse me, do you mind if I kiss you goodbye? Because that's just stupid. But with people we know, we generally know what's okay and what's not. And a normal person would simply pull away if they didn't want it, and you would then know that they didn't like it. Well, that's how I think most of society who aren't woke-tards behave anyway. Of course, the police forces of today are common purpose woke robots who don't have common sense, and in fact in some places set up equal safe spaces for police to go and cry when somebody raises their voice or when somebody enters within 12 inches of their personal space, making them feel like they have been violently penetrated by somebody's fucking aura. I think in this case, personally, it's not like she grabbed their balls or their arse or asked for a spit roast, unlike many of the malplod we report on. So I think a final written warning in this case was probably the correct action. And it's not often I say that about the police, to be fair. A published report said she did not treat her colleagues with respect and courtesy due to touching them when such touching was not consented to. Her behaviour is clearly damaging to the reputation of both herself and of policing generally. They found that PC Pegg also breached the standards of discreditable conduct. They said this is because she had behaved in a manner which could discredit the police service, as she failed to maintain the highest standards of behaviour. The conduct could result in members of the public losing trust and confidence in the policing profession. The panel found that the matters amounted to gross misconduct, and they decided the final written warning was sufficient when considering the serious nature of the proven allegations, the purpose of the regime, and the protection of the public. Now, I would like to know what you think. I'll no doubt get called out over my lenient stance over a female to a male copper, but so far I don't think I've reported on a male copper who was alleged to have done so little. As I said, it would normally involve some uncalled comments and far more intimate touching. I think this was a new recruit who had been through training with people that she probably greeted in the same way that she tried to greet her new colleagues at her first deployment, and due to the indoctrination of police these days, instead of seeing it as what it probably was, a friendly greeting, and explaining to her that's probably not wise, they took it more seriously. Now, not that I agree with police not being professional, as you know I certainly do, but that's why I think the punishment is suitable in this particular instance.